Welcome. The Points in the Paint podcast presented by Stadium. We are Stadium's numero uno podcast.
Yes.
Always exciting. Ben Wittenstein.
Zach Badgerhouse, always in the house. Ben, how are you doing, sir?
Zach, I'm doing well. Watched some NBA over the weekend. Watched some college basketball over the weekend.
Just Friday for me for college basketball. Go EMU, go Imani Bates. That's all I can say. That's all I can say.
He was putting the hurt. He was looking good.
He looking real good, man. You got to add the real good. He was looking real good. Listen, when you see the block E on the left leg come March, come April, don't be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be surprised.
It's good. It's a good weekend. It's starting to get cold, starting to feel like winter. It's really starting to feel like
basketball season.
Exactly. We appreciate everyone talking to us on Facebook.
Yep.
Leave us a rating. Leave us a review. You can find us anywhere you find your podcasts. We'd love to hear from you. Love to get a good rating if we can. If you don't like
YouTube.
us, we're on YouTube too. Yeah, watch the full episodes on YouTube. We got a new fancy. What's the new fancy word for it? New fancy 3-4 shot, whatever it is, whatever you call it in TV. Yeah. Zach's controlling the controls, so we got a nice little 1-shot going on Zach now. We can go a little 2-shot. It's looking good.
We can spice it up. We can
exactly.
Spice it up a little bit. Get us all in there together.
Makes perfect. And then you hit the cut, and we're all there. Then we got the 2-shot. So we're doing well. We're doing well.
We are doing well.
So let's start it out, as we always do. One big thing of the week, Zach. Boston Celtics. We'll start there. We have a couple big things. We always say one big thing of the week. It always ends up being like 3 or 4 big things of the week, which is fine. It's fine. It's better than calling it like 6 big things of the week. But we wanted to talk the Boston Celtics.
Yes, we do.
And you put unfinished business, ? Unfinished business? Yeah. What's the deal with the Boston Celtics?
I mean, I feel like they're on a run to really just kind of get the ball rolling in terms of just going right back to the NBA Finals, because they were just there a season ago, as we both know. And Jason Tatum is in his bag. They've won 6 straight. I don't know if you're paying attention to the Celtics.
They have won 6 straight.
But they won 6 straight. Jason Tatum is looking more and more aggressive. If you haven't checked out Zach Impressive 6 from this week, make sure you do that. Week 4, I'm talking about Tatum. He's just gotten more and more aggressive, attacking the basket. I think he's up to like 10 free throws a contest in terms of attempts. Jason Tatum in his bag, man. Talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, no, he's been really, really good. I've really appreciated what Tatum has brought this season, because I thought after last season, after going to the finals, dealing with all the finals, losing in the finals, that's tough for any team. You think maybe
he
they come
struggled
on
in the finals too. We talked about
he did, and he was getting crap for it.
Definitely
all over
was.
social media.
Yeah.
So the thing you have to realize is they're coming off like a finals hangover where they didn't even win. They're coming off coaching change issues. They're coming off season drama. They're coming off getting Malcolm Brogdon, which is awesome.
Yep.
Then he's been in and out with injury. So they've been, trying to figure themselves out.
And on the fly, in a sense. Yeah, on the fly, and they've looking good.
Yeah, on the fly, and they've been looking good. So it's been fun to watch them kind of feel themselves out here.
And I like what defensively, if we really got to put it up there and talk about it, I would really say defensively, Marcus Smart has really gotten it done. I would think so. I think Marcus Smart has really been able to get right back to it on a defensive tip in terms of trying to be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Because he's out there getting steals. He's diving for loose balls. He's doing all the little things that you want from your defensive point guard in Marcus Smart.
Yeah, he's been fun to watch. And you really have to give it out to the consistency that they've had. Because, again, coaching changes, it's hard to go through a coaching change, let alone 2 weeks before the season starts.
Right.
And now you're scrambling, trying to figure out what this coach wants, the style he wants to play. And you're still one of the more dominant teams in the NBA.
Easily.
It's crazy.
Yep. And then, there's some other teams that can give them a little run for their money so far this season. But I feel like personally, so far throughout the season, Boston Celtics, they have been in front of the pack in terms of getting it done. They're playing well on the road. They're at home a few games this week. And so they've really gotten it done. And like I said, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, both of the Jays have been balling. But I got to give credit being really to Jason Tatum. I really got to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the picture boy of consistency, and they're the top offensive team in the league when you look at points per game, and that's not hard. It's not easy to do in the NBA, especially when the defense has been picking up. But they're number 1 in the NBA in offensive points per game.
Yep.
Defense could use a little bit work. They're 17th in the league in defense, but they've been a little bit better the last 3 games. Got to improve that a little bit. Now that's understandable given coming off a season where they were in the NBA Finals and a coaching change, so it's understandable maybe the defense needs some time to catch up. But I don't have too many complaints. Honestly, I don't have too many complaints about the Boston Celtics.
Now let's go down a little further south, but keep it in the East.
Yeah.
A team that's really gotten better defensively being since the firing of your mans. I just want to throw that out there a little bit. Their last 5 games, they have really improved from a defensive standpoint. The Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
Under Jock Vaughn. I don't know if your man Steve Nash couldn't get them boys out there.
I will not take Steve Nash slander. I will not take Steve Nash slander. That man is a treasure to America, and he's probably enjoying his non-coaching. Yeah, he's just probably going to the Bahamas, hanging out on the beach, living life. But the Nets have been great. Yeah. They really have. KD's looked really good. The team's playing like a team, actually. The defense is there, so something clicked. You get rid of Nash. Kyrie's on a suspension. The team maybe is just feeling free. They're like, listen, we got a new coach. We can play by ourselves here. Jock Vaughn's coming in. He adjusted the defense. Like, the team's rolling. It's weird.
Yeah, they are rolling. They're holding teams being under 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that. Like, I really like the fact that they're clamping down defensively. This is a team that has struggled. They couldn't guard a parked car, if I'm being quite frank. And so the fact that they've been able to step it up defensively, hold teams under 100 points. They've done that at least 3 or 4 times so far underneath Jock Vaughn. So I'm really proud of that. We'll see if it continues once Kyrie returns from suspension, and they'll be able to keep their offense flowing the same way. Because on the offensive side, too, I know I talked a lot about the defense but on the offensive side, I really feel like they've doing a lot more cutting. There's not a lot of standing around on offense for guys like Seth Curry or Joe Harris or Nick Claxton. Like, those guys aren't standing around anymore. They're moving, they're cutting. And that's why you've seen the last 5 games, Kevin Durant, assist rate kind of move up a little bit.
Going up. He's trusting these guys a little bit more. Yeah, I think I respect that. I think that's really good. He's looking at his teammates. He's adjusting, and they're coming through for him, too. That's the second part of that. Yeah. He has to trust them, and they have to come through for him. So, listen, I don't know if I'm fully in on the Nets.
That's fine.
But they're slowly starting to get people's trust back, I think, in terms of being like the team that people expected them to be at the start of the season.
Right.
They're becoming more of that team now.
I think so, too. And we'll see what happens.
Can that last, though? Can it last?
Yeah, that's what I say. We'll see what happens when Kyrie returns, if they'll be able to keep that same flow in terms of the offense, or it'll be a lot of more ISO ball. We'll see what happens. But hopefully it's in that same right direction. Keep that momentum going.
Yeah, 100%. And I think they can. I mean, maybe they realize, hey, here's the thing. Here's what I'm worried for them about. 2 things can happen, or 3 things can happen, right? Kyrie comes back, and they continue to play really well.
Right.
And the team gels again, and it's great. Kyrie comes back, and the team struggles again. Now, if that happens, they might be in real deep trouble, because if they think, all right, maybe we were better without Kyrie, and they try to trade him, is there going to be a market for Kyrie for them to get anything back for him?
I think so. Just off the strength of off the court noise is off the court noise, but in terms of just like, okay, will he be available? Because that's one of the biggest things too, right? Mm-hmm. Availability is the best ability.
Sure.
If you're a Kyrie
That's
Irving.
a big issue.
So
and he's had issues with injuries too.
For sure. But I think even over the last, the second half of last season, coming into this season, I don't think we'll have to really have too many concerns being in terms of injury. I think it's more so just like the off the court noise, his head, like where's his head space at?
Right.
Those sort of things. And outside of that, I think he'll be able to play well and ball out for a team if the trade rumors do kind of speculate.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting to see, because when he comes back, it's going, not only will all eyes be on him and the Nets, but they're going to have to actually play well, and they're going to have to continue to play well after playing well. They've been like, all right, we're rolling, we're doing great, we're playing good basketball. All right, not only are we getting a very good but controversial player back, but all eyes are on us now. All eyes are on him. Can we play through that after suddenly it's seeming like freeing themselves from Steve Nash issues, from Kyrie issues? They're like, all right, we got a new coach. He's a good defensive coach. We're figuring it out. We're playing well. Now they have to deal with everything else back again, all the media attention back on them. So it'll be interesting to see if they can figure that out once that happens. Another team going on a mini streak.
Little mini streak. Listen, I know.
Little Sacramento King action.
We talk bad. Listen, B, I know we be talking bad about the Sacramento Kings. But on a little mini streak, man. They won 3 games in a row. I just like the teams that they were able to beat, too, though. So they went out in their previous game. They beat the Golden State Warriors. That's a team that the Warriors always felt like, and if you hear it all the time being in the media from Warriors players about how that Sacramento team, they're coming. They're going to be coming. That franchise is getting better and better. The games are getting tighter. Will they finally be in? and finally able to get a dub over the Golden State Warriors. And I like the fact that Sabonis went out there and was balling.
He's been such a good addition, man, to that team.
20 and 20.
Yeah.
2020 game, Ben. I was very impressed with that. Keegan Murray, the rookie, shout out to Monty, Iowa alum. His man, Keegan Murray,
awesome.
was balling out.
They finally made a good draft pick that people are like, all right, we love this guy. We didn't expect him to be good, and now he's here and he's good. So Keegan's going to be special.
Yep.
He's going to be a special player down the road. And them having Sabonis, I think, is huge for them. De'Aaron Fox is, De'Aaron Fox. Been playing well, doing great. So there's something to be said. Maybe Mike Brown's the right coach for this team.
Yeah,
maybe he's getting them together.
There you go. Talk about Mike Brown in a good light.
They've been searching so much for a coach that's the right coach for them, and they couldn't find any. They had issues with a couple, and a couple had issues, with the players. They couldn't find one that finally meshed. And you bring in Mike Brown, a guy who has a lot of head coaching experience.
He does.
Coach LeBron has a lot of coaching experience to take teams to the finals, with the Warriors. Yep. So he has the experience and the veteran presence to be able to coach a young team like this that needs to learn how to just even get to the damn playoffs.
That's
not
true.
even just to the finals.
Play-in, something.
You got to get to the damn playoffs here.
Yeah.
And it's suddenly looking like maybe something's working in Sacramento. Maybe. I'm not worried about saying that statement, but maybe.
Okay.
I'll keep it at that. Maybe something's going right in Sacramento.
That's fair. I like De'Aaron Fox is doing too. Clutch baskets down the stretch. He's one of the more clutch players in the NBA right now. If you go look that up for clutch points, De'Aaron Fox's name should be right there, top 2, if not 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's playing extremely well too. I like the fact they brought Malik Monk in. They got the Kentucky backcourt riding high. You know how I feel about that. So go Wildcats,
Love
BBN.
a little Wildcat action, whatever they do with their hands.
Malik Monk doing his thing. So I'm really proud of that. One thing that I want to mention too with the Kings, and keep an eye out on this too, even for betting purposes.
Okay.
Pay attention, Ben, to player props from Trey Lyles, especially his 3-pointers. He's going to be getting them up because Mike Brown, he wanted that. He wanted him to let it fly because he felt like teams were closing in on him for the drive as opposed to the shot. Right. And so if Trey Lyles continues to shoot the ball with confidence and step his 3-point percentage up, hey, it may get to 1.5, 2.5. If you're a betting person, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't mind that. Go ahead and win you some money. Betting on the Sacramento King player props. Look at that.
Unbelievable. All right, let's talk about one big thing for you. We have to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. We have to talk about what is this team right now, because they started out hot, started out great. Donovan Mitchell looking really good on the Cavs along with Darius Garland. Jared Allen, we know, has been, was playing well to start the season. He's been in and out of the lineup now.
Right.
This team's lost 4 in a row. They've lost 4 in a row. They're on a 4-game losing streak. Now, they have had issues, guys in and out of the lineup. Jared Allen, one of those guys. Darius Garland's been in and out of the lineup with some issues.
Donovan Mitchell didn't play in the last game.
Yeah. So certainly you could put some blame on availability for some of these players. But 4-game losing streak, they have not looked good in a lot of these games. Their defense has been bad. They're giving up the 5th most points per game during that 4-game stretch in the league. And normally in the fourth quarter, Zach, they have the second best defense in the fourth quarter this year. Mm-hmm. That is now the 10th worst defense in the NBA in the last 4 games. So what's going on in Cleveland? That's my question. What's the issue here?
Well, I think the biggest thing was that the fact that, okay, they were on the road. They played a good Clippers team. I think the Clippers were a good team. The Kings, we just talked about the Kings and their win streak. So I guess technically that's a part of the Kings. That's a part of the Kings win streak.
One team has to go up, one team has to go down.
So that's just how it plays out like that. But I think when they get back in the swing of things in terms of like getting all their players back.
Yeah, go back home maybe.
Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, once those guys come back. Because they did go out there. They came back home, but they didn't play in those games after the road trip. So their first home game back, they didn't play. So once we see them, come back, Jared Allen and Donovan Mitchell, we'll get the full assessment for like what to expect.
Okay, I think that's fair. I'm by no means, saying the sky's falling in Cleveland. I don't want to be the overdramatic guy about the Cleveland Cavaliers being suddenly bad now. It's November. You're going to go through some rust stretches, especially when you have a new player like Donovan Mitchell. You have to kind of figure out how he works himself into the lineup. Mm-hmm. But it's not the greatest look. It really isn't the greatest look for him. I think they need to start figuring some stuff out, and they need to start getting healthy, and maybe they'll start making a run once the calendar changes to 2023. But You give it maybe a month to get healthy, a month to figure it out, a month to get yourselves together and get the chemistry going. But it's certainly something to keep an eye on because I really like the Cavs, and they are going to be a playoff team, and they're going to have a chance to go deep into the playoffs, I think, with the way they are constructed. So to see them stumbling like this, it's not a huge red flag, but just something to pay attention to.
I think too, Ben, one thing I do want to mention with the Cavaliers, I think the X factor for that team has to be Karis LeVert, because he's the guy that can go out there and get 20 any given night. Right? Any given night, Karis LeVert can go out there and get 20. So I feel like if Donovan Mitchell's having a bad night, off night, or if Darius Garland having a bad night, off night, if it's not going to be a young Isaac Okoro or a young Evan Mobley, it got to be a vet guy like a Karis LeVert to go out there and get a bucket and get a few stops for that Cleveland Cavalier team.
All right, let's get into what's trending. 50 burgers. We got a bunch of 50 burgers this early in the season. It's kind of fun. Joel and Darius Garland, 50-plus points.
50-plus points. Joel Embiid, he went out there and he had what? About 59? Wait, no. So Joel had 59 points.
59.
Almost 60. So it could have been a 60.
I really wish he hit 60.
And he almost had a quadruple double. Like he almost had a quad too, Ben. So like I thought that was going to be impressive.
He was blocking stuff all night.
He had 5 blocks.
Backboards.
Yeah, no,
I thought he had. Did he have 5 or 7? He had a high number.
We had 5 in the fourth alone. That's what I'm getting at. Like he only had 5. He had 5 blocks in the fourth quarter alone. In a key block, I felt like being.
Yeah, he did.
A key block in the game.
Yeah.
At the end, it was around 101 and 98, and Sexton was on a fast break. Get that out of here, out of my crib. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing with Joel. I love to rag on Joel. I'll make fun of Joel all day long, but he is one of the few players in the league. There's maybe 5 of them that can go off for 60-plus points. He can have a quadruple double. Honestly, like he's one of those guys where you come in and you're like, Joel can have a quadruple double any night that he
what
plays.
Specific stats are we talking here? Like
he can have points, rebounds, assists. That's 3. Blocks is another one. Honestly, like blocks, steals.
Blocks, rebounds, and points for the trip dub, yes.
Oh, 100%. And he's someone who can get a quad. He's someone you can easily see. And he's the only one of, 5 other players, KD, Giannis. Like, Steph's not really built for a quadruple double, really.
He have to get like 10 steals, and I don't see him playing on-ball defense enough.
Not at all.
And his arms ain't long enough for no passing lanes either, so I don't think that'll work out either.
And even LeBron in his prime, not LeBron now.
I think LeBron can still get a quad now.
Maybe
I'm being biased, but
that's fair. But again, he's just one of those rare guys that's built like that, and this is not. I would be doubtful this is going to be the only time he's going to score 50 points in a game this season.
Yeah, possibly.
He's going to do it again.
Yeah, DG, I don't know if he'll get 50 again, but he'll definitely have some high 40s.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like he'll have some high 40 games. And I wish they would have won the game. 51 points, and they were fighting back. They came close to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ooh, they were so close.
They were really close.
DG had 10 threes being in the contest.
Yeah.
He was 10 of 14, so he was hooping.
You know what? Other thing? This could have been one big thing, but it's also what's trending. You bring up the Timberwolves. What the hell's going on with Timberwolves? Also, we talked about the Cavs have 4-game losing streak.
Tell you something.
I'm not worried about the Cavs. Sacramento's on a win streak. I have hope for the Kings.
Right.
But man, Timberwolves. They bring in Gobert. They think Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns are going to be like a thing. Ooh, that's not been a thing.
It's not working. No,
I don't know what's going on. D'Angelo Russell. He's again. Like it's just like they have a bunch of these guys who theoretically could be really good, and they've just been garbage.
What'd you call
Garbage. Rudy Gobert would love that. Garbage.
No, in all seriousness, you are absolutely right. Rudy Gobert. I said it from the jump though, Ben. He doesn't have any offense. So like I can understand from a defensive standpoint, if you want to get better defensively, it may make sense in your mind to bring in, a guy like Rudy Gobert.
Yes.
However, if you're not playing a well enough perimeter defense, and your perimeter players are getting blown by for layups and floaters, things that Rudy Gobert can't really contest all the time because his man may be on the outside and a little away from the basket, and that's more opportunities for the opposing team to get to the paint, then you're going to be in a poor scenario. Or if the pick and roll action defensively and Rudy Gobert is out guarding the guard and now he's in foul trouble because he can't keep up with other guards in the league, then it's going to create more problems and the chemistry will never be there. And a lot of question marks right now being even is on the boy D'Angelo Russell.
What's up with him?
They may have to go in a different direction in terms of point guard.
Oh, man. Like, it's just the team is built so well. You got Ant there, too, is such promise as a young player. I'm concerned for the Timberwolves. I really am. I don't.
They're questioning Anthony Edwards. His work ethic? They're questioning his work ethic now.
What is it with people in Minnesota and work ethic? You got Jimmy Butler just making fun of Karl-Anthony Towns and his work ethic, which I understand. I don't think there's no way that guy has a good work ethic when he's streaming on Twitch playing Call of Duty most of his time. Listen,
that ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm not going to criticize someone playing Call of Duty a lot because I'd be first in line for that one.
Exactly.
But when you're a professional basketball player and you're playing with someone like Jimmy Butler, okay, you deserve to be criticized for that 100%. Right. But you can't have two poles of the team, two superstars theoretically, who have bad work ethics on the team. You can't. You can't have Anthony Edwards and Karl-Anthony Towns have a bad work ethic and then expect to do anything during the regular season, let alone make the playoffs.
Yeah, so they got to really tune some things up, and they may have to go into a coaching change too.
Oh,
maybe that may be something
they gave him an extension.
They did. They may have to go in a different direction with that. I understand why they gave him the extension, though, right? I can understand why.
Yeah, no, 100%. He got him playing well.
They went to the playoffs last year. They made the play-in. They took the Memphis Grizzlies to 6 games. So they obviously had a good reason to do so. But now we're in a new season. Things are different. Teams are healthier now. So what you thought was going to work with Rudy Gobert, Minnesota, it may not be in the right suit for them to be doing that. Yeah. So they may have to go in a different direction.
Tough look for the Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, some other things about what's trending, and this is a good team. Washington Wizards.
Yeah, listen.
Get that Wizard cap on. Let's go out east to D.C. 4 wins in a row for the Washington Wizards.
They're doing that thing again.
They are doing that thing again.
It's that thing we be talking about.
Best defense in the league. Best defense. We're talking Wizards and defense, and they're doing well.
Shout out to
Wes Unseld Jr., man. He's putting in work to D.C. And I should mention, they're doing it all without Bradley Beal.
Yes.
And I sarcastically, I put this.
You wilder.
Are the Wizards better without Bradley Beal?
You are wilder. Absolutely not. But I will say this, just like how Kuz said, and I agree with Kyle Kuzma, and he mentioned this.
Okay.
I think that they should run the offense a little more. Not every single play, but I think they should run a little more offense through Kyle Kuzma because he's a willing passer. He can score 18 feet in, no problem, shoot the midi, cut to the rim or get a layup, whatever the case may be. And we know he can shoot the ball with confidence from 3. Not saying he's going to make everyone, but he's going to shoot them. He definitely going to shoot them with some confidence. So I think if they can do that a little more, they'll be in a good spot because obviously you're about to mention KP, Porzingis, baller, right?
21.5 points a game in November. That's a season high for him. He's averaging 20, so he's averaging more than a season average without Bradley Beal. Now, I don't think there's ever been too big of issues with Beal and Porzingis playing together, but clearly, and this happened in Dallas too, when Luka was out, Porzingis was the guy. He did everything, shooting, rebounding. He even played some defense down low. So I don't know. It's clearly a Porzingis problem where he's not playing his best basketball when he's playing with someone else. Now, that's not mean he's playing bad basketball, but he's not playing his best. So that's going to be something I think Unseld has to figure out, maybe stagger their minutes a little bit when Bradley Beal comes back. But the team's been playing great offensively. They've been playing great defensively. They're taking more three-pointers now, which was a huge issue going in to the start of the season. Yep. They couldn't hit three-point shots. They weren't shooting any three-point shots, and now they're just taking them as much as they can. So that's been a huge thing for them. So Wizards are on the up and up. If once Beal comes back, because he's going to come back soon because he was just out for COVID issues. I think it's been 5 or 6 games with COVID. So he'll be back, and as long as he gets back into shape quickly enough, Wizards have a bright future because I love the bench. Coming off the bench, they got some pretty good players. Denny Avdia's playing a lot better. Just had a career high in points. There is some good stuff brewing in DC.
I gotta simmer it down. And Ava, don't get mad at me for what I'm about to say. But Ava knows now. If don't nobody know, Ava definitely knows, Ben. So listen, we did this last year with the Wizards, right?
We did.
We were high
How
on
are they
the
going to
Wizards.
screw it up this time?
They doing that thing. That's why I say they're doing that thing again where they play well early into the season. You see it's only November, early December. And then what they do, Ben, they kind of just fizzle out. They just fizzle out into the standings, end up on the back end in the bottom of the Eastern Conference. So for the sake of the Wizards and everybody down in the Chocolate City in D.C., we just hope, Ben, that they do not fizzle out this time around again.
Yep, 100%. I think they need to keep pounding, keep going through. And now that some of their younger guys, I think this is what's going to help. Talking about Denny Avdia, he's growing into his own. He's figuring out who he is. I mean, even like Corey Kispert. I was looking him up today, and, that's a name I haven't heard in a year or so. Since he played in Gonzaga, he hasn't really been, doing a whole lot with the Wizards. But he's starting to come into his own. He's almost averaging double-digit points a game this season. He's like high 8s, 9s. Rui Hachimura's treading water, doing all right, not playing poorly, but guys like Daniel Gafford, they just have good role players coming off the bench.
You just brought up Daniel Gafford. I gotta bring up the play. This might have been the best play of Kevin Durant's career.
He did.
I know you saw it, right?
He should have gone into hiding after that one. He got
dropped.
Over.
Yeah,
he
got
became
dropped.
part of the floor.
He was definitely a part of the flow, glued to the flow, like the lady who glued herself last year to the flow.
That was Daniel Gafford right there. He was doing a protest of his own.
That's what I'm saying. Protesting defense. That's what he was doing, protesting defense, because he was definitely riding skates when he did all that mess he did.
Yeah, man, that was not a good look for Daniel Gafford. So I understand why maybe he wanted to go into hiding a little bit, a couple less than 10 minutes a game type of thing.
Right.
But once he comes back and figures himself out, and people forget about that, hey, maybe the Wizards are going to be good.
But what a moment for KD, though. I just had to say that. That was a good moment. Because, every star player has a moment, right, in the NBA. That was because I don't think up until that point, KD had, maybe the shot over LeBron the second time around in the finals might have been one of his moments.
Yeah.
But I think, in terms of just a regular season killer crossover, that's a staple moment for KD.
Yeah, for KD, that was big. Yeah, 100%. I mean, up until then, I think the moment since then was him hitting the game winner against the Bucks that ended up not being the game winner because his phone was too big.
Yeah.
That was a KD moment right there.
That's true.
Let's go. Never will I ever. Something we will bet, watch for, root for again. Ooh, this is going to be really interesting.
It's going to get spicy in here. It's about to get spicy. Because I'm curious to what you think. Because you didn't have one this week. So, I did. And I struggled, folks. Listen, I was struggling. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
I was really struggling on the betting atmosphere this past week. And it had nothing to do with my brothers. It had something to do with my fellow white counterparts. You feel me? It was bad. First being, we talked about Josh Giddey already on the previous podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
he's had a rough go. You're right.
But he played well in his last outing against the Knicks.
He did.
So I'll give him that, right? I'll give him that. But your boy, your doughy fella,
I know.
he sold the bag, Ben. When I tell you, I needed Nikola Jokic to only score, Ben.
Yeah.
What, 10? I needed 10 rebounds and only 15 points. So basically just a double-double. He had the points, well over the points.
Oh, no.
The rebounds as a 7-footer, Ben?
Yeah, oh, no.
Only 4 rebounds.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed.
I think the way to go, looking at his game log, is for Jokic, you have to just either do points, rebounds, assists every game, or just do assists double digits, because he's getting more double digit assists in games than rebounds double digits.
But I just needed a double just in general though. I just needed a double. So it didn't matter if it was 10 assists, 10 rebounds, 10 points, 10 assists. It didn't matter.
No.
He didn't do anything.
He needed 2 more points for you.
And we talked about
He was 4
Luka.
for 4. He only shot 4 times.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that insane?
He was playing crazy. I didn't understand
that's insane
it.
to me.
I was so mad. And then your boy Luka Magic, right?
Okay, yeah.
Your boy, I only 6, 7 assists.
Yeah.
He said, sell me the bag again. So 3 strikes and you're out. I guess I can't bet on no white NBA players for a while because they just been selling the bag.
Against the Trailblazers, though, he went off.
He did, but I ain't bet that game.
See, the thing is,
I didn't bet that game, though. So that's why it was a little funky. But
yeah, that's rough.
I will say this, though.
That's rough.
Luka was struggling a little bit on the road because I feel like he's wearing down. You think they're going to wear him? Think they going to wear him out?
Well, what was it?
I think they're going to wear him out.
StatMuse, I think, had an interesting thing where his shooting statistics get worse as the game goes on. He starts out great in the first quarter. Second quarter, it's all right.
That's how it was. Remember that
Third
one
and fourth
playoff?
quarter goes down. Yeah.
Remember that one playoff? He was like that. He was great in the first half, 26, 27 points in the first half.
Yeah.
He may only finish the game with 34. So that means out of the 34 points you only had 7 in the second half. So that's a big struggle right there when it comes to Luka. The second half of these games.
He has to be averaging some of the most points per game. Or, excuse me, most minutes per game. And I'm trying to look it up as I say this for this season.
Right.
So the person who's averaging the most minutes per game, interestingly, Donovan Mitchell. 39.1 minutes per game average. Luka is top 5, though. He's number 5 in most minutes per game.
Okay.
I just
that usage through the roof.
No,
I know it is.
Yeah, the usage has got to be insane for him. And the thing is, like, Durant has more minutes per game than him, which I'm shocked by considering Durant's age and what he brings to the team. But they kind of need him now that they don't have Kyrie. And they go through coaching changes. They kind of need him to be there on the court as much as possible. Tatum's up there as well. But with what Luka has to do and what you ask of him to do, 37 minutes a game is a lot.
It is a lot.
Especially just in November. You're starting
That's what I'm
up
saying.
The season. Yeah, maybe because he just gets tired, He's just breaking down a little bit early on.
What do you think of this being? And I saw this, and I think on another podcast too. What do you think of this idea of making sure at all times? Now, I know from a defensive standpoint, this may not be as effective, but a lineup where you got Spencer Dinwiddie, Christian Woods, and Luka Magic all on the floor at the same time. I think offensively you'll get an uplift for sure. Defensively it may be a drop off because you're not going to have
you're going to need that offense.
You're not going to have the Klebers of the world out there
No.
or the Dorian Finney-Smiths out there, the guys that really play D on the perimeter. So if you got to add from subtraction, you may have to up your offense just to bring down your defense, just so you can eliminate so much usage from Luka.
And the interesting thing is Dallas has had a really good defense this year this far. They're 4th in the league in points per game given up. So their defense has been really good along with how well Luka has been playing. But can it be sustained in the long run is the real question. And that has yet to be seen. I think the Christian Wood addition has been great to that team and been great to the pick and roll for Luka and adds another offensive person there, which they desperately needed. But can it sustain itself in the long run is really my question there, because I don't know. I don't know if it can sustain itself in the long run. And the issue with Luka being worse as the game goes on is a huge issue.
That is a huge issue.
That's a huge issue.
And that just means that he's wearing down. Like, he's wearing down throughout the game. And that's not a good look.
That's not good.
If you're Jason Kidd.
Yep, not good at all. Prison time.
It's your favorite segment, right?
It is. And I don't even have anyone to throw in prison this week.
You don't.
But you do.
Yes, I do.
Who are you throwing in prison?
Listen, I'm sorry, New York Knicks fans. I really am. Like, I apologize for this. But maybe I don't. Because maybe I feel like this, too. I feel like some New York Knicks fans, they're going to feel how I feel about this. But Tom Thibodeau, listen, folks, he may have to go, Ben. I promise. Like, he may have to go.
Time to go? You throwing him in prison?
Yeah, we might have to put him on the hot seat. He may have to lose his job because there's no way defensive-minded Tom Thibodeau giving up 145 points in regulation.
Yeah.
Regulation, B?
Not only that, but it was to the Oklahoma City Thunder, too.
A bottom feeder team, quote unquote. We ain't gonna disrespect them like that, though. SGA, we love the SGA. Yeah, I take it back. I do take it back. But
sorry, OKC. We
didn't mean to do that. But I will say this though. They're struggling. Their $100 million players are not playing well enough defense, or at least good enough defense by Thibodeau standard. So they're riding the bench the whole fourth quarter of games. That's not okay. Like, and if you're gonna pay these guys, you gotta play your guys.
Yeah.
So whatever you think it is you need to do to fix the situation, Thibs, you need to get on that like yesterday, because it's been a big issue with you not playing your young guys. Like, he doesn't play his young guys ever, and like that's the major concern, at least for me, being with the New York Knicks. It's like, bro, play Obi Toppin, play Cam Reddish. Like, give these guys a chance to learn on the fly and make mistakes on the fly.
Yeah, if you had to guess where the Knicks were in the league, what position they were in points per game given up, what number would you guess out of the 30 teams?
They are probably, because they probably defensively are probably fine when it's all said and done for the most part. But they probably somewhere in the middle. So I'll probably say maybe like 15, 16.
25th.
25th? Woo!
25th
I gave them
30.
too much credit.
And in the last
I gave them too much credit.
In the last 3 games, they're 29th in points per game.
Oh, so it's only getting worse.
It's only getting worse. And that 145-point game adds a ton to the last 3.
No, definitely.
But, man, 123 points, 116 points a game given up, almost 117 a game from the New York Knicks. So defense is an issue.
A Tom Thibodeau coach New York Knicks team. You got to emphasize that, because everybody always want to talk about how Thibs is just, so defensive oriented, and he's gonna get guys out there to stop other players and defend on both sides, and rebound and play hard and dive for loose balls.
Nope.
Man, get that energy.
He didn't do it. Didn't do it at all. I agree. I think it's time. It's time Tom Thibodeau met NBA prison. Throw him in. Get him in there. And
no free card.
No free card.
Okay.
I'm not gonna use it. I get one, and I'm not gonna use it right now.
Okay.
On the hotline we go. Let's see what some of our listeners have to say this week about the NBA. Got James Witten from Facebook. Again, go on Facebook. Let us know. Leave some comments. You can text us if you would like. We have that voicemail line. It's always open. 773-273-9088. Give us a call at that, 773-273-9088. Again, you can leave us a text, and we'll read it on the show. James Witten from Facebook said, time to shine some light on the Trailblazers. And I think we did a little bit last week, but yeah, that Blazers have been fun. Blazers have been good. Blazers have been fun. Anthony Simons, that guy can hit threes from wherever he is. He's taken up from Dame Lillard. Lillard's teaching him some tricks or whatever it is.
He's talking about teaching him
some tricks. Simons' three-point shooting has been really impressive, but that team as a whole is finally we can say good things about the Blazers.
Yeah, we always been able. We always try to at least, but there's always been an injury or two with the Portland Trailblazers. And even currently right now, I believe Nurkic is out. So, but they're still able to find ways to win some of their games. You got the Jeremy Grant who came over from
Detroit.
Such a good addition. I think people really slept on what he was going to be able to bring to that team on the wing, really for the wing, for Damian Lillard to take pressure off of him. Like you mentioned, Anthony Simon. That's the guy I really want to talk about, because right now he putting up career numbers, 22 points a game, shooting 40 from deep, attacking the rim more than he did the first few years he was in the league. I'm really big on Anthony Simon, and they not really too much of a drop off from their vet that was there, CJ McCollum. I feel like he just came right on in, and they didn't really miss a step in the backcourt.
Yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch. The Blazers have just been good, man, and I hope they can keep it up. I really do. I mean, I think they can, and I don't really see a reason why they wouldn't be able to keep it up. But, I mean, right now they're sitting first in the West, tied for first in the West with the Nuggets, and they're 6-4 in their last 10. They don't show any signs of slowing down and being a fraud. So through 12 games, what do you always say? Give them 10 to 20 games. We'll 10, see 20. After game 20. So 8 more games, 2 or 3 more weeks, we'll really come back to the Blazers and see if they're legit. But I have no reason to believe they're not at this point.
We'll see.
We'll come back in a week or two. And see.
We'll see.
Mike D on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. What are you talking about?
Look at Anthony Davis now, fellas. That's what he said. Look at Anthony Davis now.
Well, he's coming off a big night.
Day-to-day Davis.
Day-to-day Davis. He is coming off a big night. I was impressed. I did watch that game. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch that game.
A little bit.
I think the main reason why I wanted to watch it because obviously the Lakers and the Nets, they played no Kyrie and no LeBron. So in my thought process before the game came on, I'm like, okay, it's like a normal old school game, like early 2000s, where it was only one superstar on the team. Yeah. And a bunch of other guys. So you got KD versus AD out there. Well, they played well, both of them on both sides. Anthony Davis, aggressive, attacking the basket on the glass. He was on the glass. Could you believe it? 17 rebounds.
Look at the guy. He's finally realizing he's 7 foot million.
I was just happy about that. No 8 rebound game, no 9 rebounds, no Jokic 4 rebound game. Yeah. Now, granted, with Jokic, I did harp on that a little hard with him only having 4 rebounds.
A little hard.
His teammate Aaron Gordon did have 17 rebounds in that
Man's
same
clean
contest.
The glass.
So if you can clean the glass collectively as a team, then go ahead and do so. But if you 7 feet tall like Anthony Davis there's no
you gotta be grabbing 18, 14. The rebound numbers actually make sense. He's playing a decent amount of minutes too, which is awesome. So stay healthy, Anthony Davis, because I want to see a fun Lakers team, and they're going to get some guys back. Dennis Schroeder's supposed to be coming back from his injury, so Thomas Bryant's supposed to be coming back as well in the next couple weeks. Maybe we see a little bit of change in the Lakers. Dennis Schroeder's definitely going to help. Thomas Bryant's definitely going to help. So maybe we see some uptick. Maybe buy stock in the Lakers now, and it'll pay off in the coming weeks.
I got to tell you something.
Maybe.
A fun stat. Here's a fun stat for you. So you know the last time LeBron and KD faced off was when?
That's a great question. Off the top of my head, I don't know. When was it the last time they faced off?
3 or 4 seasons ago.
Okay.
Was the last time they played against each other.
Really?
Isn't that bizarre?
That's
very, very bizarre.
East and West, I guess. That's crazy.
Yes, it is.
We need to see more of that, obviously. They need to play against each other, and maybe Maybe it's an NBA Finals.
So I think the next time the opportunity the Nets and the Lakers play won't be until February.
I'm surprised the NBA doesn't put them against each other more often.
I mean, it's the East and West thing, so they're only going to play 2 times a year, that sort of thing. And so when you have it like that, one team got to get, one home game. And so when it's like that, that's why we only get them twice a year. But see, LeBron was out, and then you had a situation where KD was out a whole year because of the Achilles. So yeah, they haven't played against each other in a long time. It's kind of crazy.
That is kind of nuts. Honestly, that is definitely wild. But that is on the hotline. So again, leave us notes. Facebook, YouTube. Text line 773-273-9088. Leave us some notes. We'd love to hear some hot takes from the NBA season. But yeah, I think that's
it,
it.
huh? Yeah, that's going to conclude this edition of the Points in the Paint podcast presented by Stadium. I am Zach Badgerhouse. That was my main man, Ben Wittenstein. You can follow us both on our respective handles, social handles, that is. And again, you can subscribe, rate, review, give us 5 stars, no 4 stars. I'm going to think you're a hater, so don't do that. We don't need you doing that. It's, Points in the Paint, wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe on our YouTube channel at Watch Stadium, and you can be able to catch all these beautiful faces and all these clips and interviews from different guests that we have on the show throughout the season. And you will hear from us next week.